All right, so today we're starting, it's week one, it's Recharge 2021. This is a 4-week segment. This is something that, I've done for years. It's the first time we had ever tried to do it online. Usually it's like a full day event, fun stuff like that. But really it's just about getting yourself a business plan and a roadmap for your success. And this year has been quite unique with everything. Let me move my faces. So I have everyone on mute. We'll go through, of course, if you have any questions, feel free to chat. This is week one. It's pretty simple. We did, upon registering, you should have received the email that has a link to the workbook. We do have a homework that involves a little bit of numbers. We can give you a couple weeks to do those. They'll be due for, I believe, moving into week 3. So after today, we have a little bit of homework, and I try to make the homework fun. Of course, when we get into numbers, not everybody thinks that is fun. However, I can almost guarantee you when you do those numbers for everything in that projection, it's, to me, I know anytime I've ever done any coaching programs, that's usually the first thing that a coach would make you do. And it's very insightful. So this would not be any different. So we're going to go ahead and go through. Each week will be I try to keep it to about 30 minutes just to keep it nice and short. And of course, we have a little bit of homework, but it will be fun. This is something I personally have been doing, even though I don't sell real estate. It's something I have my kids do. We try to bring in all elements, whether you're a visual or anything like that, a numbers person. We try to bring in all of those elements to make this a success for you. So we have some notes in there. So if you did print it, you can write some notes. Basically, if you change nothing, nothing will change. This whole business planning is all about allowing you to kind of customize where you want your business to go. What are your weaknesses? What are your strengths? Where do you need to improve? Creating that visual for your path, and as well as breaking it down to the numbers, the goals, and then we'll work on basically setting up that whole game plan and roadmap for that success. So business plan is not all about business. It's about your health, your career, finances, your relationships with your family, spiritual, emotional, recreational contributions. So it's a little bit of everything. And just remember, when you're doing this, there's no judgment. This is a judgment-free zone. This is all about you. So be as truthful as you want. It's not like I'm going to ask anybody to share anything. This is all for you. So if you don't do your homework or anything, it's cheating yourself out of creating that roadmap for your success. So really, it's the more that you get involved with planning your future, the better it's going to be for you. So that's what this is all about. This is a quite unique exercise. So it's kind of like thinking back, thinking forward. What did we love about this year? The great things, business and professional. It's crazy because, as much as this year has been absolutely insane, I mean, that's one thing that I love about real estate in general is it's so unique of a career that it's always evolving and changing. As much as 2020 has kind of sucked, it's also allowed me to grow in a way I never thought possible, because on my roadmap and business planning for the last 3 years has been doing these videos, doing classes, creating, kind of like an online learning platform. I mean, it's for 3 years and I just couldn't get over myself and that whole video thing. But 2020 really didn't leave us much choice other than, okay, let's do this. And I was able to go back to my business planning. What did I have planned for, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4? What can I do when everything is shut down? And that was video. I got my green screen, I got my ring light. I mean, I got everything out. And that's what I was able to focus on when everything was kind of shut down. It allowed me to kind of do this podcasting stuff that I had been wanting to do for so long. For 2 years, it's been on our business plan on an office level. But, getting over yourself, that's super hard to do. But 2020 kind of forced us to do things a little differently. So for me, it's like, that's the part I loved about 2020 is it really it forced me to get out of my comfort zone and kind of get over myself. Of course.
Well, and welcome to entrepreneurship. I mean, if you want like a very predictable kind of day in life and business, then you should get a job at a company where you've got your set role and that's what it is. And every day you get up and you make your widgets or whatever. But as an entrepreneur, you're constantly having to shift and adapt and adjust, whether it's, rising interest rates or coronavirus, right? So that one of the things that Megan and I have always said in our career is entrepreneurs are successful. Like, you give us the box and we're going to find a way to be successful in that box. And the box changes or it gets bigger or the shape is different or it moves. We're going to have to adapt with that. That's what it is to be an entrepreneur. And that's what we all signed up for.
Right. Absolutely. And it's really, you get to create your career. So it's just a matter of adjusting those sales to what is going on now. I could, sit at home and feel sorry for myself, or what can I actually be doing? Because I have to create my own destiny. It's not going to be created for me. I'm not going to sit around just waiting for the phone to ring for, magic to happen. It doesn't work that way when you're running your own business. And it's the same for me, even like on a business level, management level, as it is for an agent. That kind of stuff doesn't change. I mean, our circumstances are just a little different, but we all have our own challenges. And that's what I love about real estate. And having your own business is I can do that. It's not like I'm stuck and not, business is closed, I can't do anything. It's not like that. I mean, we get to constantly change and, kind of add our own spin, maybe, network with other people that are doing great and put our own spin to it. I mean, there's so many different things. So when I think back about this year, the growth opportunities that I've had, that it was kind of forced on, but it's again, adjusting that sales. So what didn't you like about this year? The unexpected negative things that were beyond our control. Well, that was huge this year versus any other year. I've been in real estate since, I don't even know, for like 99. And that doesn't count my grandmother, riding my bicycle and serving cookies at her open houses. And I thought real estate was the most boringest job ever. But there was a lot of negative things that happened this year, stuff that we had no control over. So lots of challenges were given to us. And then what's your purpose or motive for doing all that we did? What did you learn about yourself? Where were those mistakes, blunders that happened that you were responsible for or could have done differently? I think this whole learning process, it's full of that. I mean, we're full of, what could I have done? I mean, we have no crystal ball that tells us what we could have done or what would have done differently. This year has definitely been interesting for all of this. Any old habits that are no good or becoming obsolete? Are there things that you used to do that kind of, are changing? And I see a lot of that is with the video. So a lot of people, yes, I do video, for your listing, but it's just a slideshow. Whereas this year we saw like the Matterports and actual videos of properties completely change in the real estate industry. I mean, I've seen a lot of that happen, and it's kind of fun to see the growth in that aspect. So maybe those video walkthroughs or the Zooms, if you do Matterport, there's a lot of different things that I think are kind of, the slideshows of photos are kind of becoming obsolete. That's not really a virtual tour anymore. Now it's really the video walkthroughs of a property. Thinking forward, what could we have done differently to get better outcomes? How will what you learn this year affect your future decisions? I think a lot of us have changed in different ways with that growth. So now moving forward into next year, we can make adjustments to those, do more of what you did have to learn. There's a lot of that, I think, this year of what we've learned for 2020. I definitely have a lot more toilet paper in my house because I do not want to have to revert to what's in my camper, because that is not good stuff. So never will look at toilet paper the same after 2020. What are you going to change about you going forward? What changes to your business and personal do you want to make going forward? Are there any new habits you feel that you need to implement? What did you learn or take away from 2020 that you feel more comfortable adding the pillars to your business for next year moving forward, and what things could happen moving forward that you will have no control over. That box should probably be bigger because we have no idea what's going to happen in 2021. I think it'll be another year, especially in that first quarter, a lot of unknowns. Some of it we have no control over, and I believe we'll be adjusting our sales again going into 2021, just because there is a lot unknown right now. So it's been a fun year for growth, learning. These boxes, thinking back, thinking forward, I think will help you as we start to build that roadmap for you. Now, thinking inward and outward. Thinking inward is what are the times this year that you felt you're on an emotional high and in your groove? There's probably smaller than, when you weren't in a groove. I think we've all kind of felt, we've all been on an emotional roller coaster this year, I believe for sure. When did you feel you were in a slump? How did you get there? How did you get back out of it? I think that's crucial because I think we've all felt in a slump at some point, just because there was so much that we had no control over. And it's something none of us have ever, had to endure in any circumstances at all. So what made you fall into that slump? How did you get out of it? Because that's really important to know when you do get into that. For me, it's, I have my Tony Robbins playlist from, UPW, and that completely gets me out of a funk, and the dancing or singing, that really helps me. So what helps you get out of that? What's the driving force inside of you that made you, do all that you did this year? So some have had an incredible year after we kind of opened things back up. Some are kind of in that funk. We're all in different circumstances regarding family and health and everything else. What experiences this year changed you as a person or has had a huge impact on you? What might your goals or directions change going forward? And what are you most proud of right now? What have you done this year that you never thought you would do or that you were able to change? Find something that you're proud of this year, something you learned, how you grew, all of that. And then thinking outward is, how do others perceive you? Whether it be your friends, your family, clients, how do you rate among your competition? And are you exceeding them? Are there any more pieces of technology you feel you need to take advantage of? I know that's always huge because there's always that, shiny new object that's out there. I think when you do your expenses part of it, you'll find all these shiny objects that you signed up for and you forgot, but you may still be paying for it. So that's, for me, that's always the biggest thing when I'm doing my expenses is, oh my gosh, I am paying all this money for this and I haven't used it in 6 months. I can, save some money for myself. Are there any educational webinars, seminars, tools, books that you feel you need to be on top of? Right now, that's huge. All these conventions and everything's kind of gone virtual, which, it's sad not to see everybody face to face. However, it's made it a lot more possible for me to be able to do more of these because they are virtual and you get the replay, and it's, once you sign up, you have it for 6 months to be able to watch at your time. That's been pretty cool to be able to have that at my fingertips. Whereas before you had to actually pay to, and, fly or stay at a hotel, all of that. So I was very limited time-wise on all the conventions I could go to. And now they're at my fingertips, and it is virtual learning, but I can do it at my own pace, which that's kind of been pretty neat to be able to do. Are there any missed opportunities out there that you feel you need to take advantage of? And how do you want to impact others' lives? So these are all just thinking inward and outward, just to really dig deep. And it's not about your willpower, it's all about your why power. So why do you sell real estate? What is your why? What makes you feel the best? I think this helps you move forward in knowing what your why is, because if you succeed, this will happen. If you don't succeed, this will happen. So find out what your why is, whether it's, money, being able to kind of create your own schedule, as if that really happens in real estate, not so much, but being able to make money to go on family vacations and having the opportunities to do that. What is your why? Do you like helping first-time home buyers and that joy at that closing table when they purchase their first home. I mean, what is your why in this industry? As well as what is your why in doing real estate allows you to your why. So knowing what your why is, what if you succeed? What if you don't succeed? I think that's, knowing your why is going to help you build out this plan. The wheel of life, this is what creates that balance. So the business plan is not all about financials. It's not all about real estate. It's all about that wheel of life and creating that balance. For me, this has always been super hard because my hobby is my work. I just happen to get paid for it. So I really enjoy working, and I have this wheel of life when it comes to my family, friends, and outdoors and doing stuff is always super low. So my balance, it's all about work. But that's fun for me. So this wheel of life is always something that I struggle with. So if you've, printed this out, definitely, start at the center is going to be a 0. And then the edge is going to be a 10. So you go through each box, kind of rate yourself. And then you can kind of draw a map like we used to with a little color by number kind of thing. And then draw where are you, where are your strengths, where are your weaknesses? For me, it was always the significant other, my family and friends, fun and recreational were always super 0. Maybe not 0, but they were really low. Whereas my career and all that, and the health was always pretty bad too. So I'm like all over the place. And my objective with my business planning is trying to create that balance in my life. Because sometimes we're just kind of workaholics. And there's, if you do too much of one, you leave time out to do the others. So trying to create that balance in life is really going to help. So it's all your wheel of life. It's your decisions, but definitely go through and what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Maybe adding in different elements of your business planning and the vision board. It may be a little different based on this. So I know my vision board has a lot to do with the outdoors and family time, which gets really hard when you have teenagers.
I was going to say here too, one of the things I've really learned, well, our kind of phrase for 2020 has been about giving people grace and giving ourselves grace because we're all struggling with this year in different ways. And for me personally, when it comes to this wheel of life thing, I feel like I'm never giving enough in any particular area because, and especially I can say this looking at who's on the call, as women and as mothers, so much falls on us as women, mothers, and business people. Because I know in my household, I probably do 80% of the stay-at-home mom duties, but I'm not a stay-at-home mom. And my husband helps a lot. But at the end of the day, I always say that I could be like on the floor in our foyer with a dagger through my chest bleeding out, and my husband's on the couch watching football, and my daughter would be like, Mom, can I have a sandwich? Like it all comes to us all the time. And I've struggled with this because I have lofty goals in all these areas, and I feel like I'm never enough in any of them. And what I've learned about this year is anything that I can give is better than nothing. And today, for example, we had a busy day. We've got these Thanksgiving Popeyes that we're doing, carpool this morning. And I like to work out, and I like to work out for at least 30 minutes. And most of the time, if I can't give 30 minutes to it, I just don't do it. And this morning, I did 20 minutes on the Peloton. And you know what? 20 minutes is better than 0 minutes. It's not 30, but it's better than 0. And I think giving yourself grace and giving what you have to give to the areas you have to give it without judging yourself and without giving up just because you can't give enough or give what you want. Brene Brown is one of my heroes. I read a lot of her books. And she says that we have this mentality in America in particular, that nothing is ever enough. And most of us wake up every morning and the first thing we think about is, I didn't get enough sleep. And when we get into bed that night, we think I didn't get enough done. And it's this constant mental talk of I'm not enough, I didn't do enough, I didn't give enough. And we've got to give ourselves grace and stop that, because we're all doing the best we can given what we have on any given day. And if you get caught up in this cycle of it's not enough and I'm not enough, then you give up sometimes. And that doesn't help anybody or anyone, especially you. So that's something that I've really been working on as a person. And this year has forced my hand to really put it in practice, that anything that I can give on any given day is enough. So
No, this year has definitely been interesting in all aspects for sure. The unknown is, I like knowing. I think I'm so much better as a structured person. So this year we have no idea what's coming around the corner at any given time. It's been interesting for sure. But I like that word, grace. So I was thinking of, if we could choose 3 words for 2020, where we end up, what would those 3 words be? I love grace. I don't know. Every year I always try to come up with a theme song and words to live by. I like that, grace.
that's been our word for the year.
Yeah, I like that. So these are just some questions to ask yourself: is vision, what is your vision for the future? Value, what is your value proposition? I think knowing that is huge in your business. Where will your business be? What are your financial goals? What's your primary focus? Marketing, what kind of marketing strategies do you want to be using, or are you using? Activities, what are your daily and weekly activities? I mean, this is stuff that, for time management purposes, I have to, set it up on my schedule and my calendar. Otherwise, it kind of doesn't get done if it's not written in there. And then track, are you on track for that? Look at where you're at in 2020. And then as you set up your business plan, these are just things that I always kind of come back to with whatever I wrote on there, is just that vision for yourself, and just, just the questions in general, just to kind of ask yourself. And then your personal vision. So what would you like to achieve by the end of 2021? Kind of reflect on 2020. And then what do you want to achieve on, this is your personal level. And then the same thing by, 2021. So whether it be a financial or, different, do more listings versus sales. What do you want for professional? And then what do you want on your personal? So like my personal is, camping more, just to kind of get away from it all. I mean, it's super hard to be disconnected. And I know I just went camping, and usually at the campground, you get free Wi-Fi, but where we happened to stay, there was nothing. And that was 2 really hard days, because I could only get reception at the top of the mountain, when we were out. And that was really difficult. It's hard to be disconnected. So my personal, I would really like to do more of that, to kind of enjoy life a little more instead of constantly being connected. Professional, just always just that growth opportunities and learning, because I feel you can always be learning. So write down like what your personal vision is, as well as what your professional vision is. And then vision boarding. So I remember the first time we had done this at an office, I thought it was super like elementary. We had all the scissors and glue and all these, magazines that we had got, and we did vision boarding. And to me, it was very elementary. However, doing that and having this poster board hung in my office, it was a daily reminder of what I wanted. And having the vision part of it was a game changer. I had always done the business planning, always had kind of my goals, and broke it down by quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily. But having that vision board constantly in my face was just something, go into your office, sit at your computer, it's hanging right there, that visual. So what I think works best on the vision board is kind of having half of it being, what do you, the following year. And then maybe you have a 5-year, and then you have a 10-year. So always, keep, in my 10 years has been moving to the mountains. It's been my 20-year, like forever. I mean, even on Pinterest, when Pinterest first came out, I had my 20-year goal, and there was a picture of the Smoky Mountains, or I really wanted to go to North Georgia, but, because Tennessee doesn't have the state taxes, we had to do Tennessee, which that's totally fine with me. I didn't really care. But, having the immediate 5 years, 10 years, always be thinking ahead. So that's how I personally kind of break down my vision board, is having, just little sections of what I want to do. And it's really about, dreaming, believing, inspiring yourself, maybe those keywords. So even having something like grace be on there, or just keywords that kind of inspire you to uplift you. You can now, I guess, because we don't have to use the poster board, in my recap video of this, the email that'll go out, I'm going to have apps that you could do it. I personally use like Canva, PowerPoint. Now, it's easy because you can just do a search on the internet to try to find different graphics. But that's the homework for this week, is creating your vision board. And I'm going to show you a couple from the last one that we just did. Let me bring that over here. Can you see my screen? A vision board. So this one was mine personally. I ordered my Bronco the week Broncos came out. I mean, I've kind of always had the mom cars, and my car's almost paid off. I really want a Bronco, or at least a 4x, just something to have fun as I'm driving the mountains. The car, it just isn't as much fun now. Then I really want a convertible, but I thought I always wanted a Mustang, but I don't now. I want to be up. So I have kind of like the Bronco. I got to get my daughter. She's a junior. So having a high school diploma is certainly big on there. Just got to get her on that. Podcasting, it's been on my vision board for 3 years. Finally started doing that. Now I just have to figure out how to get all this audio stuff over to a podcast. I want to do a bath remodel, a kitchen remodel. I want that family time. I need that family time just to kind of disconnect. These are just kind of words that inspire me. The retirement plan, inspire, working, thinking big, making it happen. Of course, the video's always been on my vision board. So this is just a little bit of like what mine is. I did mine in Canva. I just kind of grabbed pictures from the internet and threw it over there. I'll show you a couple others just so you can kind of get an idea. There is no right or wrong when it comes to creating that visual for you. And you can make this, print it. You could, put it up in your office. A lot of agents, they'll actually make that their screensaver photo on their laptop or desktop. So it's as soon as they turn on the computer, it's what they see. So here it may be about travel. Maybe you want to go and do family travel or go to certain places. Have that be on your vision board. Here's another one is, newlywed, looking to start a family, looking to get a bigger house, just a place to be able to roam. She has like chickens and all these animals. So that's her goal. See, here's more. It's just setting goals, coaching, family. Health and wellness is really big, getting rid of your debt. So it's just, there's nothing, it's very personal to what you want, but having that visual to look at, I think is big. And it's all for you. It can be, a ton of stuff, plain, it's all for you. And a lot of, whether they used apps, PowerPoint, Canva, you could do that in free. I know we did a class on Canva. They have a ton of photos in there. It's not like you need to pay for a graphic. It's all for you. It's words. It's what you're looking for. So these are just a couple different ones that we had in the last time we did their recharge. But that's pretty good. She even had like all of her exact numbers that she wanted. It may be reaching a certain level. So if you want, the platinum logo or 100%, put that on there. I know a lot of the agents like, they're trying to get to that platinum level. And boy, there's a big difference between 100% and platinum. It feels like you can never get there, but put that on there. So the vision boarding is all for you. And what you want to do, it's a visual. So that's the homework. So whether you want to post it in the group, you want to email it to us, let us know that you did it. Or you could post it on social using the hashtag, post it in the office's group, or email reply to the email that you get with the recap. It's completely up to you, but so it's a fun homework, not too bad. And then next week we'll be getting into a little bit of the numbers. I try not to make it too hard.